Well, it's a little different this week after a Ravens victory. So we definitely got that happening here. Ravens here were successful downtown Baltimore this week on Sunday. You see the final score 41-17, Ravens over the Browns. This was, I gotta say though, I mean, not to complain too much about a victory that was so decisive. Like, this didn't look like a uber decisive victory like you would think. Like, this first half, the Ravens really didn't move the ball much at all in the first quarter. I thought the run game for the most part was anemic in this one. In the second half, I thought they was able to move it more than the Browns and actually wore down the defense a bit as well. And I do think that's what led to the victory. So it 41-17. Obviously it's impressive, but it's not as impressive as it looks. 41-17, even though you won by a wide margin. One of the greatest quarterbacks in Ravens history, Joe Flacco, on the other side. Flacco, it's just time for him to retire. As much as we love Joe Flacco as Ravens fans, bringing us to Super Bowl 2013, 25 for 45, 199, 1 TD, 1 interception. It looked worse than that. It looked worse than that. He can still, with time, throw the ball downfield. I think that's why he's in the game rather than, and obviously he's been in the league so long, they have two rookies backing him up. So he understands what Stefanski wants to do. But he was never the most mobile. He certainly doesn't have great mobility. He certainly can't throw the foot. I mean, he certainly has trouble getting off like quick hits and things like that. He can still throw that rainbow. He's got great arm strength. But I think it's definitely time, if I'm them, want to look at Shedeur Sanders or Dylan Gabriel and see if they can start for you. Because there was never a point where I was looking at this and saying, well, Joe's really going to be a threat here. Quishon Jenkins, fresh from college rookie. This one, I'm going to put that there, as a matter of fact. So I wasn't sure he was going to play. He just signed here recently as well. So I'm pretty sure he was going to be on a pitch count playing in his first game. 61 carries. There's rookie. 10 carries, 61 yards. Jerome Ford really hasn't given him anything. I thought like Jerome Ford would be giving him more yards because he was kind of like for years in the second back, a decent second back, and really hasn't done much at all for them. So it looks to me, even in bursts, this is going to be more and more of him. We'll see how that goes. They're going to need a run game as well. Line looked very shaky for them. Ravens defense really, really looked strong, but a team that used to be a strong line really looks shaky. Jerry Jeudy is their receiver. Like, the rest of the receivers really didn't do anything at all. Jeudy is still going to give teams fits with that 50-50 ball. That's his whole deal. He doesn't have great speed. He's a decent route runner, but like put a body on him, you almost can't do it. Jerry Jeudy is going to fight for those, and that's pretty much what he got as well. He's going to be good in the red zone. But that's pretty much the guy who's going to be Joe Flacco. Myles Garrett was the bright spot as usual for the Browns. 1.5 sacks. I thought he was way more destructive than they couldn't block him. They couldn't block him a lot of the game. I think because it got so decisive that was the only thing that kind of slowed him. This is why the Ravens offensive line continues to have issues because they can't block guys like Myles Garrett. They're off of their guards. Still, again, were terrible. Overall, the offensive line was terrible. The Ravens, I'm talking about. Like, it wasn't just Falele in this group, who wasn't good either. But I mean, I thought Rosengarten was lousy. I thought Ronnie Stanley. Most of that was because he was on. He was trying to block Myles Garrett. But they were as a whole like Garrett was just having big day. Lamar 4 touchdowns. 19 for 29, 225. That was a typical Lamar performance. Very efficient, good percentage as well. Lamar is seeing it this week. I saw it all over social media. Highest now percentage ever of any quarterback in NFL history. Now leading all NFL quarterbacks of all time in rushing yards. Not bad for running back. I think he's been fabulous so far. I think like it's quiet with all the other stuff we've been talking about. He was fantastic. What wasn't fantastic was him in the run game, and this is like a shocking stat here. Derrick Henry, 11 carries, 23 yards. That's all Derrick Henry got as a running back, and they really didn't do much in the run game. I mean, that was about as bad. And again, I'm pointing to the line for the same thing. They couldn't. Even Derrick Henry couldn't really get going. He did have a fumble in this game as well. They were able to recover, so it wasn't bad. So Derrick Henry, who went like a whole season pretty much and change with no fumbles, has had two straight weeks. Still not too worried about Derrick Henry as well. But the run game was really anemic. You're going to have to run the ball for sure in this next game as well, because you're going to have a real quarterback that you're going against. Mark Andrews, I think production has dropped. I think in part because of Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers, I think, is going to be your guy. Definitely as well. He was fantastic in this football game. I thought he was the guy. Once again, not so much in the red area, in the red zone all the time as far as that red zone threat, but definitely in the middle of the field. Definitely, I thought he was the guy that was carving up the Browns defense. I thought was very good running routes, definitely using the motion, putting him in the slot, putting him in different places. Very difficult. Teams are finding it very difficult to contain. Teams are finding it very difficult to contain Zay Flowers in this one all season. Though teams have had difficulties containing him as well. I'm putting the other graphic up here.
It's not even here yet. Oh, it's the sound triggers the national praise.
Yeah, I knew it was going to do that. So we're going to talk about Roquan Smith here as well. Roquan, I thought also too was fantastic in this game. Roquan, I think it was 15 tackles. I'll put this up, but I'm not quite sure. But Roquan had 15 tackles. Matabuke, I think, Roquan had 15 tackles in this game. The whole defense, I thought, was really, really outstanding all the way through this one. By and large, I think it was a good move. I definitely see, though, in this one, it's interesting. I keep getting on the line, but definitely Teddy Buchanan absolutely looks like that he's going to go ahead and start for them going forward. So it's definitely less of Trenton Simpson. He hit the bench. There it is, 15 tackles for Roquan. I'm using a lot of those this week, so that's why I had to mismatch there. But 15 tackles for Roquan. That looked like the best of Roquan Smith I've seen in a while. I think people have been a little hard on him. He's been good, but that was dominant performance. That was what we're looking at. That's the guy who was all over the field. Tackles for loss. He had like 3 tackles for loss behind the scrimmage. Had a tackle putting pressure on Joe Flacco throughout the game. Really laid some heart. I mean, he was just terrific. Matabuke had a sack. He's definitely providing the pass rush. We did get an injury. Kyle Van Noy is probably going to be out for a couple games, so you're not going to have Kyle Van Noy. So it's going to be a good opportunity for Mike Green. Now, keep this in mind with the Van Noy injury and actually switching to Teddy Buchanan, which that's what it looks as far as the depth chart. So now you're going to have 3 rookies starting on defense. You're going to have Mike Green. It hasn't come out yet, but it looks like you're going to have Mike Green if you're not going to have Van Noy. Teddy Buchanan and Malachi Starks. Interesting to see. Lots of talent, but you got 3 young guys really starting there as well. So there's the score. 41-17. Ravens all over the Browns in this one. So, but I do wasn't as impressive as it looked. I think it said more about the Browns that they had all these issues here. Browns just don't have any offense, don't have a quarterback really definitely past his prime. Defense, I think, was okay for about a half, but the Ravens just too strong and pulled away. Also, too, this Ravens receiving cores, I think, is just fantastic. This one. that was really taken away from me. I can't remember us ever having receivers as a whole this good, not just Zay Flowers, but you talk about DeAndre Hopkins, Devontae Walker, great in the red zone. These guys know exactly what they're supposed to do. So definitely is going on. So we got a bigger challenge this week as we going to play on Monday Night Football. The Detroit Lions. So Monday night theme there is the oldest time from the 70s and 80s, Monday Night Football, and we got the Ravens on Monday Night Football. No, we don't have Howard Cosell and Don Meredith and those guys. We're going to have Joe Buck and Troy Aikman calling this game, and I think this is very pivotal for both teams. Both of these teams have a tough schedule. Both of these teams need this win. Ravens definitely going to Kansas City after this week, so very important here against the Lions. Jared Goff, I think, is a top 10 quarterback in the NFL for the Lions. 559 this year, 6 TDs to 1 interception. Very good in week 2. Ryan's offense was fantastic. 52 points, 50 burger from the Lions last week over the Bears. A lot of talk about the Bears. I think it's just crazy. But I thought the Lions really, really played well in this game on the offensive side. Their offense, I think, it's been underrated for the last few years. Jamar Gibbs, this is the year he's having. I think it's going to be more him now going forward. For a while, you had those 2 running backs, more of a tandem, David Montgomery and him. I think it's clear to me now the bigger slice of the cake is going to Gibbs. Absolutely. Definitely a guy who runs out of the backfield, great speed, quickness. He's a guy, he hits that. Certain guys have that acceleration immediately. Like, that's the thing. You see, like Tyreek Hill, when I see Jamar Gibbs run, that's exactly what I see with him. Definitely that quick acceleration. Maybe one of the most underrated players in the entire NFL, Amon St. Brown, the best slot receiver, I think, in the league. He can definitely play all over. But off to a good start, 9 receptions, 115, 3 TDs for him as well. Clearly, I think this is Goff's favorite receiver. Very consistent hands, very quietly does stuff too. Kind of like Terry McLaurin in that sense. You look at the stat sheet, and like, man, this guy's got like that's the type of player he is. Kind of like Marvin Harrison, except like just quiet. Not a whole lot of bravado when you see him, but very quiet. Also, to Jameson Williams on the other side, the former Alabama draft pick got extension recently, growing right before us. He also had 100 yards last week. Watch out for him. I think this guy is one of the better defensive players in the entire NFL. Aiden Hutchinson has been fantastic as well. 1 sack. They had better put 2 guys on him all night long, or you're going to have a big problem. This guy is going to blow up everything. He's very good against the run. The pass rush with him is obvious, but he's very, very complete. Not blazing speed, but very complete, very, very, very good as well. So Aiden Hutchinson, really solid. Lamar, so far this year, 434 yards passing. These are passing yards. 6 touchdowns. Lamar's been really good. I thought the yards haven't been super duper in these games. I'm not at all worried about that. This is typical, very good Lamar stuff. Been fantastic. 4 TDs in that last game. I thought this was all some of these passes downfield. He's gotten so good now throwing the ball downfield with accuracy. He's really, really improved that since his rookie year. I really think that's been very impressive as well, because that's really all he got in his last game, really those really impressive passes downfield to Howard, to Flowers and Hopkins, etc. So good stuff from him. Derrick Henry, which is totally missing action this last game. So I definitely expect Derrick to have a chip on his shoulder in this one on Monday night, because he did struggle doing anything. That was the most I've ever seen that combination struggle. Browns were really determined to stop the run. You're for sure going to see it on Monday night. That's for sure. You're going to see 9 and 10 run stop fronts all night long. So it has to be Lamar throwing the ball more. You have to get a chance to get Henry to get him. I would recommend definitely get him in the flow of the game early. Don't, get him in the flow of the game early. I don't want to hear that stuff from John Harbaugh in the post game. Well, that's how the game went. No. Get him his touches. Every time Henry gets his touches, 20 plus, they do not lose. He needs to get 20 touches. I think that's a thing. Nice to see Keaton Mitchell in there as well. We haven't seen Keaton Mitchell yet. He's been on 2 weeks straight on the inactive. So that would be cool. To go ahead and do that. Zay Flowers, I think, has been terrific for them so far this year. 14 receptions, 218 yards, 1 TD. Their whole receiving core, I think, has been great. I mean, the wide receivers, I think Rashad still not a lot of catches, but I think he's also the good DeAndre Hopkins, obviously, with the touchdowns. Des Walker with the touchdowns. Tylen Wallace and Western know their role. I think if there's anything, it's kind of hurt Mark Andrews. Andrews, I think some of it is, well, one, he had some drops in that game. I mean, there's no way to slice it. Delpit actually knocked that ball out in the end zone, potential touchdown. So he's got to take care of that. I do think also, again, I keep going back to the line, but the lack of that, they've been staying in the block more. I've been noticing that. They've been staying in the block more on the offensive line. So he hasn't get a chance to go downfield as much and get in the flow. The other elephant in the room is that these are better receivers now. It used to be just him and Lamar. All right, you got Flowers, you got all these good receivers, all these other toys that Lamar can use. So that's it. So about that, the receiving core has been fantastic. Matabuke with 2 sacks. He has been the pass rusher so far. So we haven't gotten as much so far from Owe. Owe was a little better in the last game. We got the Van Owe injury. We're going to see more of Mike Green. So hopefully Mike Green can come in and actually hold on to this starting job. Again, I'm assuming he's having it, but I've got to tell you, I think probably it is possible that they start Tavius Robinson in this game, simply because of what I said with the rookies and all that. And Tavius got a lot of snaps in this one. Tavius got a lot of snaps. So it'll be interesting to see that as well. X Factor, 2 guys that may not even play. I don't have it to report because of the Monday game. They didn't practice today. Ricard John Harbaugh said it's taking a little longer. This is having a big impact as well. So we're definitely rooting for that. John Alexander didn't play last week either. I'm okay with that. With the depth you had, I think it looked better. Wait till he's completely healthy. He's missed a lot of time in camp. Wait till he's completely healthy. I'm sure they'd love to have him on the field, but I think even if they get him on the field, it'll be a pitch count. So, there you go. I was going to do that. So, there you go. Monday Night Football. So, we're going to have that. And Ravens are going to go ahead and play Monday Night Football against the Lions. Definitely after the game is over. We're going to be here. Instant reaction to that after the Monday night game, 8:15 on Monday night. ESPN is going to be going ahead and show that. Those of you can watch it there. And then after the game is over, we're going to be here chopping it up, talking about the Ravens and the Lions. Hopefully the Ravens with a 2-1 record.